world famous Apollo Theater. You know, Nelson Mandela felt a real kinship to New York City, but especially to Harlem. This is where many people, if they leave Africa, they come here to live. There's a place not far from where I am that's called Little Africa. Many South Africans came to live here to call this home, escaping apartheid. And it was one of the first places, as you said, he came to visit after he left prison in 1990. And this is one of the first places to pay tribute to him. From the White House to Buckingham Palace, the entire world remembers the man who changed it forever.
He taught us world peace. He taught us how to love.
I thought he was a great man because he kept his people from rising up after they gained their freedom.
That he has empowered each and every one of us.
Nelson Mandela, a man who spent 27 years behind bars, now eulogized by presidents and monarchs. In Washington, flags at the White House were lowered to half-staff. President Obama spoke of the man who inspired him.
We've lost one of the most influential, courageous, and profoundly good human beings that any of us will share time with on this earth.
President Clinton, I will never forget my friend Madiba. President Bush, he was a man of tremendous moral courage who changed the course of history in this country. President Carter, his passion for freedom and justice created new hope for generations of oppressed people worldwide. In cities across the nation, people coming together to honor the man who has become a global symbol for justice and humanity. A touching tribute lights a marquee at the legendary Apollo Theater in Harlem, where Mandela visited on his first trip to the U.S. in 1990.
And he came to the state office building. There were about at least 200,000 people out here that day. And those struggles that we have here in the United States, he was very familiar with, and they were going through the same in South Africa.
News of his death travels swiftly around the world. Prince William and Kate Middleton heard the news while attending the UK premiere of the film Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom.
Extremely sad and tragic news. We're just reminded of what an extraordinary and inspiring man Nelson Mandela was.
Across the globe, world leaders reflected on the legacy Nelson Mandela leaves behind. At the United Nations, silence in the remembrance of his enormous impact.
No one did more in our time to advance the values and aspirations of the United Nations. Nelson Mandela showed what is possible for our world, and within each one of us, if we believe.
So you see the marquee behind me, it says, "In memory of Nelson Mandela, he changed our world." I want to show you the marquee when he visited here back in 1990. It was him and his wife, Winnie Mandela, and it says, "Mr. and Mrs. Mandela, welcome home. We love you, we love you, we love you." It says, "Welcome home" again, because many Africans, many South Africans find a home here in Harlem. And today, a tribute to the newspapers here, by the newspapers here in New York City. This is a daily news. It says, "Farewell, dear friend. The world mourns the deaths of South Africa's giant."